tricast. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah,
Don't
no,
worry.
no,
We're
we're extremely professional and not going to talk over each other whatsoever, even though we completely have all different thoughts on humor and whatever. But anyways, I'll do the quick intro. This is myself, Blaze Casting, jumping into this Team Liquid in-house group game. Among these two teams, Dr. Chopper drafting up on the Radiant. Watch how I spill one on the Dire. I think it was named something different yesterday, but whatever. One way or another, we have Austin Smith, aka Astarwulf, as one of my co-casters, and then Rainmaker as my secondary. So, there's no order here. It's just all three of us going at it. I'm not even going to try to specifically call play-by-play or analysis. We go with what works, whatever works, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Astar, you were playing last game, right?
Oh yeah, I was the Darkseer.
Yeah. So thoughts on the item progression of the Shadow Demon? Did you guys have a chance to check that out?
I actually didn't check out the Shadow Demon's items. I just threw him up on the ledge one time. What did he have?
Well, I think he was going for refresher by the end. Like, have we decided that was a refresher, or do you think it was a Bloodstone Orchid, or then the Dagon? It was interesting.
Huh. Yeah, I actually never clicked on his items. That was really bad of me.
He went for Arcane Boots and a Null Talisman, then he went for a Ring of Health. And we're like, what the heck is that going to do? And then it just went into Perseverance, and then not an Orchid, the component, which is Oblivion Staff.
Oblivion Staff.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I don't even know. It was crazy.
There's that Anti-Mage ban again. Does this guy just not want to play?
This guy hates Anti-Mage, okay? No fun allowed. It's the anti-fun. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We're going to like piss the viewers off. All three of us are going to be saying something simultaneously. They're like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, no, Dr. Chopper, anti-fun, always banning that anti-mage.
Yeah, I do think we should clear up the voices. I'm Astarwulf, and the other guy's Rainmaker.
Yep,
Rainmaker should speak.
I am speaking.
Okay.
Alright, I'll try to direct this a little bit. Let's start off. Astarwulf, what do you think about that Batrider for the first pick in the 6.75 metagame?
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah, definitely worthy of a first pick, especially with Darkseer out, and I don't know. I think the other guys should pick up like Jakiro and I'm not sure on the last one. That's where you start getting a bit interesting. I think Templar Assassin is kind of weakened as that in those first two picks, though, with Batrider pickup.
I'll add a little bit input there. Crystal Maiden, I think, is a really good counter to Batrider as a soft counter kind of thing. Like I said last game, he loves to initiate, whether he gets that blink or not, just jump in and lasso somebody. Frostbite prevents him from really zoning somebody out, controlling where they are, and just kind of puts them both right locked down there. You lock down the Batrider, then you lock down your carry and make sure he's not pulled out to a weird spot. But Invoker, if he's going to go 1 versus mid, I don't think that's favorable. What do you think, Rainmaker?
Oh, he'll lose. He will 100% lose mid. Back when Invoker was still fresh and new, and he had just got the stats buff, Batrider was always the not even a soft counter. Like, it's very difficult to lane against a Batrider with most heroes, and Invoker with the new lower base damage and the fact that he can't really harass effectively, because if he gets a couple stacks on him, Batrider will just dive. I don't think he can win mid. They should probably go and side lane the Invoker somehow.
However, you have to factor
one
something
interesting thing is.
Okay, go. Go ahead.
Tell me.
The interesting thing, you got to factor in Team Liquid in-house. Okay, you think about Kamikaze Batrider up against a rank 3 Cold Snap on tower. Yeah.
The one thing I would like to point out is backtracking a bit to the Crystal Maiden. I don't think a Frostbite actually used to work on Batrider in Dota 1 because of the way that Batrider was kind of a flying unit. So that's kind of a Dota 2 change, that Crystal Maiden is now very good versus Batrider, as you said.
Any idea what the Frostbite base spell was?
Entangling Roots, I believe.
Yeah, it was Roots.
That makes sense. Okay.
I think that also brings Syllabear, he's now also fair versus Batrider.
Sure.
Yeah, actually, an interesting thing was the reason Syllabear didn't get picked at all was because his bear was creep type for the longest time, so Crystal Maiden would go and stun him for 10 seconds or whatever the frostbite duration on drills is. So you just couldn't put Syllabear.
Does the thing not work on him then?
No, it doesn't anymore.
Oh,
because it's the same thing, right? They
changed the exact same idea.
Did they change that in Dota 2 or 1?
In 1, 6.68 or something.
Now, Sand King is definitely a good counterpick to the Broodmother coming in. If he does run Caustic on the lane, 1 versus 1, he can easily dominate that lane, assuming he plays it correctly. But if they don't match up the lanes correctly, say Broodmother decides to go for a safe lane and they go for an aggressive tri-lane, how do you think Sand King, going up against an aggressive tri-lane or something like that, how do you think he'd fare in that circumstance? Does he just max out the Sandstorm rank 2, at the very least, to keep it up constantly and try to hold on for dear life, or what do you think's going to come of that?
I'm pretty sure that they'll buy wards. This is a bit higher level than a pub game, so I don't think the maxing Sandstorm is going to work versus the offensive tri-lane. And so I think they really are going to just have to kind of play that a bit of Russian roulette with the lanes here. They want the Sand King versus the Broodmother, and the Broodmother doesn't want to go versus the Sand King, so we'll just see who's going to outthink the other.
Yeah, it's like rock paper scissors. There, you're just like one step ahead of the other guy. Whoever does that will be the victor. But randomly speaking, it could be one way or another, and they might have to do a lane swap, and that would obviously negate a lot of early game experience and committing a lot of resources to the town portal scrolls and such. Titan are adding a lot to the mid game team fight always. I mean, there's really not too much. But do you think we're going to see another carry alongside the Broodmother to kind of go with the fact that Titan is a very good support, assuming he still gets a bit of experience? What do you think, Rain?
Well, it depends. If they go and pick up another carry, they're kind of giving away their lanes, right? So I think here we're going to see what they're going for. Because if they pick a carry, they're going to safe lane it, and then we'll have the Broodmother in the long lane. So they're going to be giving away a little bit with these next couple picks.
It's incredibly odd that they actually just banned Bounty Hunter as the team versing the Broodmother, Team Skrillex, I guess. Because Bounty Hunter is generally thought of as a pretty good pick versus Broodmother, just for shutting her down and being able to gank her.
But then you have to, like, commit, like, maybe a Sentry or a Dust, and that would tie down your opportunity to build up the Shadow Blade as quickly as possible, so... Really,
Absolutely.
It's too much to commit to it. Too much.
Yeah.
We might see an
Shadow
Exhort
Blade being
Invoker.
a core item on Bounty Hunter is just very important to his burst damage.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with your thought on the Exhort Invoker. Sand King, his Burrow Strike, or even just the Frostbite rank 2 will be sufficient to get that Sunstrike pretty much guaranteed on somebody who obviously wouldn't have any Magic Immunity mechanics early on. I guess you could debate a really lucky Tidehunter Kraken Shell, but generally speaking, that's going to be a perfect setup. And Invoker needs kind of that Exhort right now to get some good last hits, and whether he's going for like Exhort Wax and goes for a huge semi-carry auto attack build, which is high potential since they already have 2 supports picked up, or if they're just kind of going for a little bit of everything, we'll have to see.
The one thing is that if Invoker is mid and he goes Exhort, he's basically giving up the lane. Because the Quaswex just has a lot more laning strength than the Exhort. Even if he needs to go it for the last hits, he might want instead to try and just go for the really quick phase boots build with Quaswex if he wants to win the lane. If he goes Exhort and he's just trying to kill the other lanes and make them stronger, that works.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Seeing that, picking Invoker into a Bat Raider just... I think he might know something I don't, because I don't know how he's going to do well at all. You know?
He might not be mid, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, I can't imagine him not going safe lane in this phase of the game. He doesn't want to play him supportively, because I already have, like I said, SK and Crusaim, so he's not going to be maxing Quas or anything, but I just can't imagine him trying to 1v1 against Bat, so they're going to need some kind of mid. But right now they're picking up a Chaos Knight, and that is just
Chaos
weird.
Knight Crystal mid, and that
they could do mid.
Okay, dual, okay, I can see it. I mean, I'm generally more familiar with the Leshrac, Lich, or Ancient Apparition variants, but I can't imagine Crystal Maiden would be a bad support for that. However, the Slardar, to obviously counterpick everything that's been selected here, I guess it's decent against Sandstorm, but otherwise it's a little bit unorthodox. But Witch Doctor, Slardar, they got... Did Slardar even get a buff? I guess his armor reduction was a little bit improved.
It's like massive now.
Like 20 or something? I don't even know.
Does Chaos Knight have a high base armor? I'm not sure. Because I don't know, that might be something that, like, gives a bit more sense to the pick. Maybe someone just likes Slardar, though.
Yeah. I think he's got good edge growth, right? Chaos Knight. He's a good illusion here, so eventually his armor does get fairly high. But I don't think his base is that fantastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they technically could have drafted the Slardar to not have to worry about it up against the Broodmother since the Bounty Hunter was banned out, but I don't think that was going to be something they would have to risk, especially with CK and Sand King already on the field. Slardar would just seem redundant as a strength AoE stunner, or not AoE for Chaos, but same thing. Yeah. Anyways, but the Witch Doctor also got an interesting buff, a lot of extra damage. It's like a 1/6 of DPS increase on the ultimate. So Death Ward going to be doing a lot if he can get it off, but there's so much to stop it. Invoker has a couple spells up his sleeve along with that Crystal Maiden, Frostbite, Burrow Strike, Chaos Bolt. The Reality Rift wouldn't interrupt it, but it would pull him into a really weird spot.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the exact changes to Witch Doctor. I cannot remember them exactly, but the Death Ward already did a massive amount of damage. So if he can get that off in a team fight, they're already looking pretty good.
So you guys thinking core Witch Doctor, picking up the Aghanims ASAP and maybe a BKB?
I'm kind of curious.
I'm kind of a fan of Bloodstone Mjolnir. We'll see.
that's synergy right there, if I've ever heard it.
Are they remaking?
I hope. Oh, well, yeah, Disconnect's coming out. They're going to remake. Hopefully keep these same picks. I'm going to try to keep them in mind. Does somebody want to remember the Radiant and I'll remember Dire?
Yeah, I'll just do a Prince real fast.
That works too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to do anything, so I'm glad
you just sit there, man. We got enough casters covering the team.
Yeah, I'm just living the life of luxury here. Okay, so we are disconnecting then?
Yeah, I mean everybody else is, so might as well jump into lobby here and switch it back. Overlay for the time being, but we'll talk about what do you guys think about that lineup as best we can remember it. Now, we'll really briefly mention the Witch Doctor change to 6.75. It was, like I said, a 1/6 DPS increase onto the Death Ward, but also the Maledict is better at lower ranks. It's still going to be the same 40 at rank 4, but it also means it's not kind of completely useless at rank 1 or 2. Generally, you max it first just to get to that number, the 40% increased damage, but it's still effective at those lower ranks as well. So I've seen a lot more people picking up the Aura, the healing AoE. So with that, the toggle effect, they just get a couple points of Maledict and still does a decent chunk of bonus damage while being supportive in the healing aspect. So we'll have one more connecting in and figure out what's going on with that, and then from there we'll hopefully pick up the exact same people and not have to remake 3 times. But it'll be interesting, whatever lineup they want to go with, lanes and everything. The Slider kind of throws a weird aspect in the mix in my mind, especially with the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, yeah. I do want to elaborate a bit more on that kind of Bloodstone Mjolnir Witch Doctor I was going on a bit.
Okay.
I mean, you see, if you get enough Bloodstone charges, you just keep on your heal, and it's just you become a tank. You get Mjolnir, you get a Silk Cross, you just man up.
How many? What's your highest Bloodstone charges? Out of curiosity.
38.
Yeah. Oh, you beat me. I had 37 once. Why would
Actually,
you do that?
It was 38 on Witch Doctor, and that's the game. That's
Really?
why good. And I think I got more on Storm Spirit or something.
Yeah.
But that's the one I remember. Like,
Yeah,
that game was months ago, but it's still in my mind.
I'm nowhere near. I don't play Bloodstone Heroes that often, so like I'm probably like a 16 or something stupid, and I've gotten like a million testing it out in practice mode, but other than that, yeah, testing out when they charges reset like at 99 or something, but.
Oh, they reset?
And here's a new Earth they did. I don't actually Dota 2. I went really freaking high and still wouldn't. So, who knows?
Okay.
There you go. I think that one interesting thing is the lanes are going to be really rough for Radiant because they want to give that Invoker solo experience, right? But then they're not going to be matching him. He'll be matched against a Brood. And
they want to try and. Oh wait, no, he's on the Sand King side. Or yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
that's the thing.
Okay, you're making
so like.
sense.
Yeah, so
I have to have this picture in front of me, but we'll see when we get in game.
yeah, so they're gonna probably keep him, solo safe lane, but then he'll be against a Broodmother, and they can, like, Lion's not gonna help him that much. So top's gonna be something like a Lion Sand King versus Witch Doctor Slardar. Like that's some pretty high level.
Really dangerous lane.
Yeah.
On both sides. Like people are going to die.
Yeah. I don't know. Did they have a Tide top? Did they have Tide?
They did have a Tide. I think Dire had Tide Hunter.
Yeah, Dire did have the Tide Hunter along with their other lineups there. The only one they have to. Did they pick up a Slider? Kind of. They don't really have a hard carry, but they have 2 good semi carries that can put out a lot of pressure. If the Brood really gets a favorable lane, she can put out a lot of momentum for the team in general. But I really don't see anything else really contributing until they hit the mid game where Batrider can blink initiation and then Rabbit can back him up with whatever he chooses to do.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if we're going to see the CK farm up a bit more, or go just for that, I got drums, I have treads, let's go kill everything now. And I would guess that it's going to be the latter. So there's not a super big carry on either team, but I'd favor Radiant here.
I don't know. I think with Slaughter can carry alongside CK. Like they'll be in fairly equal power levels until the late game, in which case CK will win it hard.
Yeah.
So I think the CK should actually be going for a bit more of that farming role, because I think that Radiant has this late.
All right, so gonna call off real quick the Radiant team. We got Stancil on the Invoker, has this little cosmetic set going on there, but we also have Skate Skater on the Sand King. Dr. Chopper actually picking up the CK. He does prefer that mid role, so possibly gonna go for a Bottle Chaos Knight with Yoika. Support him on the mid lane, but we'll have to see. Anyways, we do have Yoika on the Crystal Maiden this time around. He was playing Faceless Void last game, so that's kind of a
that was
pretty much the opposite role. It's just kind of transitioning over to the
said he was
complete
more
opposite.
of a support
in
game
I see.
this game.
Well, and then we got that guy online. Gosh, I hate that guy. But anyways, Dire team, anybody want to take that?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Go for it.
No, Rainmaker, go ahead.
No, you.
Okay, we'll trade off.
Taking it. Broodmother, watch how I spill one? Sure. We'll watch. Don't worry. As the Broodmother.
Is that Erase Me on Batrider?
Yep.
Okay, and we've got Tidehunter as Shmor Barbink.
Trix is on Witch Doctor. And then
And Automed is on Slardar. Exo Automed.
Dude.
It looks like these guys might know each other down here in the bottom lane.
Now
No.
this is this guy Automed is actually following a build that I used to go a lot on Slider, pick up a couple tangos, that Quelling Blade, a lot of branches for the stats, and go for what, at least if you follow. Obviously we don't know what he's doing, but what I used to follow it up with is go for the Helmet Iron Will and then for the Armlet and get a really fast Armlet even before boots and just rely on the sprint for that initiation. Now it does make the Armlet damage over time effect tick really painfully, but with the 1 second toggle on it, if you're really skilled at it, I think it could add into a lot of damage and a lot of potential for that hero. But we do have Stancil going up Bat Rider versus Invoker. He hasn't even picked an orb yet, but he is definitely not in the favorable lane that he... I mean, I guess
this poor Sand King is going to get... They did some pretty good lanes guessing here, because I don't think the Sand King is going to be able to do very well at all. And I think...
Yeah, the AoE damage, they don't even have to be able to see him to kill him.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the lanes are very favorable for Dire. I'm surprised they didn't go and do that duo mid with the Crystal Maiden and the CK.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they...
I do think...
Oh, yeah, sorry, we got 3 people here, so go ahead.
I do think it's that the Radiant has a bit of an advantage here in the aggressive tri-lane versus in opposite sides of the map, because they can do a bit more pulling than the absolutely none that the other guys can.
Gank on middle lane, Yoika coming in with a double damage from there. R9 charges the stacks on Stancil, but he's going to get out of the Fireflight, now going to try to go up the cliff.
If he
Yoika
touches
putting a
that
lot of
fire,
damage
he's
out.
dead.
Yeah, he can't
touch
obviously
fire.
pursue, but on the other hand, Purple, that guy, is circling around trying to cut him off. He does have clear vision. He should be able to see them and try to juke as best he can, but he's in a really sore spot right now. That guy having maybe... oh, he went for Hex. I guess
That's...
he slows him up, but now he's, in an unfavorable 1v1, one person like
Don't
exchange.
worry,
But
Crystal
Yoika,
Maiden has double damage.
double damage, Crystal Maiden, pretty much the highest DPS
80
ever.
damage?
And there's the Frostbite going on through. Needs like 4 auto attacks to finish this job here. And the secondary Hex should commit it there. Cold Snap. And Invoker gets the first blood against the Bat Rider all by himself. No real assistance needed in any way, shape, or form. So.
It was very kind by that guy and Yoika.
So, have you, is there a reason that you'd get Hex before Impale here?
I couldn't fathom
I
not about it.
couldn't tell you one, no. I mean, Impale can hit multiple things sometimes.
The only thing I can think of is if they're going up against the Broodmother, I believe the Hex, the silence effect of it, would delay, if she's outside the web and she enters her web again, the Hex would delay the invisibility taking effect. And since they haven't picked up any detection, that mechanic might buy them another second or second and a half, but other than that, it's really minimal. It's not going to really be a big
Also,
deal.
if they had a Faceless Void who at level 1 took Backtrack, I think that would disable his Backtrack.
Oh,
For the
there you
level
go.
1 deck.
Yeah. Obviously,
It
that's
all makes
pretty
sense
much what they're counterpicking for, accounting for the invisible faceless voids and their non-existent builds. So, going on, that guy with that Mad Hex going up against this tri-lane. What do you think he's going to do?
Well, he's
Hex.
mad rich
I think
after
he's gonna
that
Hex.
thing.
Most likely.
Oh, they stack stuns there, but...
Oh, 2 seconds.
Chaos Knight
That's
isn't
going to be
fair, so
sufficient
it's
right there. Bring him down. Dr. Chopper picking up a nice clean kill.
That was just that guy.
That guy.
Big Hex place coming out.
I mean, I don't think we can make fun of his build even. It's worked amazingly.
Obviously.
Yeah, dude.
Can't complain about a 0-0-2 Lion. Does not have any problems at all.
He's so rich after the gold changes, too.
Oh yeah, assist was just being the big deal as the bounty has increased, not only for the kills, but for the 3-man assists, as he's been seeing, he's gotten quite a bit of an increase there and getting more and more out of it. Now they have unfortunately left their, they transitioned Sand King top, they got the lanes back that they wanted to. One thing to note is that Sand King not only having a really crappy 1 versus 3 lane, but also he committed 200 of his gold to Sentry Ward, so he was in the worst lane of his life.
You're kind of breaking up on me.
Why would I do that?
I don't know why you would. I mean, but...
Okay, are you getting the same thing, Astarwulf, or did it stop?
It's just a little crackly, but it's not too bad. You did drop in quality a little bit.
Okay, I think Rain's down. He disconnected
I'm
out.
back.
Okay, are you coming back in the game?
Well, yeah, it's gonna... I'm still on the disconnect screen, so give me 1 second.
No problem. Go.
Okay, that's what we have more casters here for.
Yeah, obviously
So-
we've got backups, so just add a couple more in, and we have all the disconnects in the world. Doesn't matter. All set. Valve
Exactly.
supports
There you
multi-spectator,
go.
so it's cool.
We have Stancil here with 2 blades of attack. He's definitely trying to make sure he can last it versus that Rat Rider. And it does look like he's going Quas Wex, so he is not giving up on his lane. I guess after the first blood, why would you?
No, obviously he's got superior lane advantage, the attack speed, the blades of attack. He's all raring to go, and on The fact of the matter is he does have Magic Wand at the very least. Erase Me can't just spam Napalm to his heart's content because he is going to keep on getting those charges. And 15 charges on a Magic Wand really, really does add up. But as far as last hits go, Ademd, although he got caught a gig, I can't even say a proper sentence with grammatical
looks like he's going for someone.
They're trying to,
There's
but they can't really.
on.
They can't lock somebody down. The reality, he don't have mana for both of them, so he had to
and
just
he gets trapped by the creeps a bit there.
really nice, and there's reality. We're pulling him right back into a really, really big mess, and he's going to drop.
Yeah, those.
So what do you think the items of choice for this lion should be? He's like after, let's say, wand. Should he go for the phases, tranquils, or I feel like if you're
with all this early gold.
Yeah.
Aghanim Scepter, 1,025 damage nuke. Combine that with a Dagon and Ethereal Blade, and you can pretty much one-shot Roshan. So.
I mean, it's just a solid strategy, and you hex Roshan to get rid of his spell shield. Works.
I'm going to jump off the call real fast because it's becoming pretty interesting. So I'm going to see if I can fix my stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. In the meantime, Batrider up on mid lane has put a couple of stacks of the Napalm, mostly just focusing on the fact that he did Fireflight a lot. Stancil running back into the flames himself. Big mistake there in my mind. He could just, even with the cold snap, he can't do anything more. Stancil taking a lot of damage and will drop down. Batrider. Yeah, I don't even know, but the Batrider got a free kill on that Invoker. He walked right back into the flames, and not the position he wanted to be in whatsoever. So he didn't do a flame break or anything to pull him back. No, he didn't need to. It was there. It was as is, and he got the kill.
You want to kind of hit him as little as possible. You just want to run around with your fire under the tower so that you don't draw the aggro as much.
Obviously, yeah. It's pretty much I mean, as long as he's outside the tower range and he didn't take the tower aggro. If he took the tower aggro, then the cold snap would have done a lot, but no, the running around in fire really didn't help his circumstances, and Sansa did drop down. But now a Ring of Health picked up on Sand King. He's going to go for a Vanguard that will inhibit his potential to initiate, and also his mana sustainability, but it will give him a lot of tankability against those measly little spiderlings. It pretty much negates all their damage if he gets that block, 70% chance, I believe, and with that, it just makes it so much easier to go up against this brood as he pleases.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's going to finish that Vanguard or just going to stick with the casual Ring of Health, which would be okay in a Broodmother lane. So, he's definitely going to get boots before he finishes Vanguard, though. What's interesting is that Broodmother actually has the invisibility control versus the absolutely no sense.
3 seconds stun onto Adem. The Gush does go on through. Napalm is up on Chopper, and he actually gets ulted. The Lasso goes on through. Nice crush goes through on Slardar, and it should be Dr. Chopper dropping down here. Just a little bit more damage. The Flame Break will pull him back in. Now going on Yoika, and they can't finish off Adem. He just has just enough HP, and he does finally fall, but that guy now getting napalmed up. He does Hex. That's a flying frog right now, going on through, shooting through the skies, jumping through the trees, whatever you want to call it. That frog is all over the place, but he has burned down the lion down to about 40% HP before he has to fall back from the siege of the tower.
That guy lives. Okay. Yeah, he's a pretty good player.
Indeed, indeed. He's setting up the big plays, and as Lion, who can blame him? He sets him up quite a bit, so adding him to the call real quick. Sorry, viewers, for the stationary camera for the time being, but you get to watch Sand King duel it out while I find this guy's name, which is not that guy. That's completely not to be confused. It's this guy, Rainmaker, back in the call. And now, moving on through, Skater doing what he can up against the Broodmother, but right now, he's actually not in a favorable lane position. 30 CS on the Brood, now 30 CS on the Sand King, but really, a lot of that probably is the Spiderlings. And
solo kill mid? How did that happen?
I wasn't paying attention, actually, but I'm assuming there was a tornado and a cold snap involved.
Okay,
why would you pop the salve? One thing, popping the salve when you have 3 in Quas and nobody contesting your lane, does anybody else feel like that's a complete waste?
I think
yes.
Maybe he's afraid. I'm not sure. He might be afraid of a gank, but I don't see how he quite could be. I mean,
yeah, 3 people on bottom. Solo Broodmother's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think the chat is asking us to analyze a bit on why Sand King is beating the Broodmother, and that's pretty simple. The Caustic Finale, it's pretty good versus spiders. You just hit them, you chain up some things, and Broodmother gets hurt really badly, like she just did right there.
Yeah, exactly. Caustic is such a good mechanism against any melee hero, and if How Spillwind's not careful about it, actually that Burrow Strike could have really put him in a horrible spot. Of course, there's no detection available, so it's just kind of it would have just brought him down pretty low. The webs, as he levels up, Broodmother now with rank 4 webs is going to be having a lot of HP regeneration, sitting at 12.3. So with that, it's kind of unlimited sustainability, but the burst is there. Skater, just if he hits about 3 or 4 creeps before he does the stun, the burst strike on through, that will do a lot of caustic damage and can burst her down in just one quick shot. It's really, really powerful, not only against, like, pub Bloodseekers, but also, in this case, against the Broodmother. And, munching down the Spartans really quickly. Bottom lane, a lot of damage going on through. Dr. Chopper's going to be the first one to fall. Adem taking a lot, trying to heal him up as best he can. It may actually save him. The last auto attack, Lion auto attack on the long range will finish the job. Crystal Maiden does have the Maledict on her, but it won't be enough damage, and he does get creep blocked up top, so that guy double kill, pretty much the best, that guy.
Dude.
He's just the best guy. He's that guy. We all wish we could be him.
Yeah, it's true. What can I... But do you like with the new Finger of Death? Do you feel that Lion's pretty much being relegated to a support role? Because with the increased cooldown, it does more damage, right? And it's fantastic. But like with the increased cooldown, do you think he is still a viable mid here?
Did they increase the cooldown of Finger of Death? I think they reduced it at lower ranks.
They increased it at early levels and decreased it at lower levels. So I think actually giving him more farm in levels is kind of the answer, because 40-second cooldown Finger of Death is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like Lich. It's like you're okay with him. But you never see Lich in a tri-lane because he leeches so much EXP, and or he doesn't leech any EXP. He doesn't get his own EXP. He's relegated to stacking, pulling, roaming, things along those lines. He's good at sustaining the lane. He's good at winning the lane based on denies and that experience mechanic there. But he still needs his own experience. He needs to get the Frost
coming by for gank on Invoker. Stencil doesn't look good here.
Oh wow, big flame break and pulling him right into the lasso on the fire. No chance at all. Getting burned down.
Oh, Stencil.
Now, Midas picked up on Broodmother. That is a 10-minute Midas, so it's not too bad. We'll kind of have a rich get richer aspect as
Very
he...
Chinese style there.
Yeah.
What do you think about the change to Incapacitating Bite? 40% miss chance up against this Invoker, who seems to be mostly focusing on... I mean, he has the EMP going to be built up as he increases it. Like I was saying, they don't really have that much of auto attack potential other than the TK, who's really been farming rather poorly right now. 28 CS at a 11-minute mark, not really where he wants to be at.
Well, I mean, he's okay in relation to the other carry of the tri-lane.
Mid lane,
So
I think there might be another soul kill here.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
The other way, yeah. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting Stencil to be able to turn that around.
He just kind of, the Bat Rider just kind of stood, watched the Invoker TP in, and hit him.
Bravery.
Like, yeah.
Something like that. It's Team Liquid. They're very brave people.
Absolutely. I mean, it's brave enough for Yoika to be frostbiting up a Witch Doctor illusion and now putting out the Crystal Nova on both of them. So slowing up those illusions to a crawl, and they're not going to be hurting anybody or scouting anytime soon. But nevertheless, currently the gold is in the advantage of the Radiant, about 1,000 and 3,000 experience. I think the landing situation in general, actually 2-second stun to follow the Impale, and now the Finger of Death, popping that long cooldown to finish off the Tidehunter. But now Dr. Chopper taking a lot of damage from that amplified damage. Did get stunned up. One more auto attack. It will not be enough, though. Living with 15 HP, and here comes the Iron Charge. Personally, I would have probably been safer than sorry and earned before the tower had brought him down with, 15 HP left, but one more
that guy
tactical.
receives another kill on Tidehunter. He's really carrying his team.
Yeah.
One big difference, though, is Tide actually has Ravage now, instead of in your game, where I think the Tide picked it up at, like, level, or rather minute, like, 18-ish, right? This Tidehunter is going to have a lot more impact.
Erasme coming on through, does put out the Flame Break, just kind of gives him another nudge in the right direction, but unfortunately he turns around to try to pop a stun with the Napalm on him, slowing like a crawl. The little slug moving around and not going to happen. He's going to get the lasso off. He's going to drop down. Now Adem's in a weird spot, but he does pop off the crush, and he should be able to sprint out of there, no problem at all. Death Ward comes on out. Skater taking a lot of damage, but the invisibility is there. Now he's going on through with the stun. Trike's taking a ton of damage. Adem actually brings out the Sand King. He will live, but no, he gets picked off, I believe, by the EMP. He gets burned down by that, but the Invoker... The Invoker will drop down in the process as well. So, a lot of exchanges. What do you guys feel about this buyback right now? Witch Doctor, Tricks, as far as his current GPM, you're already looking as low as 141, and he just committed a buyback at level 7.
I don't know. I think buying boots may have been better than buying.
Who needs them? Who needs to have boots at all? You need to ward aggressively and slowly walk to destroy everybody in your path. 2 seconds stun on Tidehunter. He doesn't have the Kraken Shell skill up yet. Nice Impale goes on through from from the line. Is it called Impale or is it Earth Spike? Okay, I'll have to remember that because I don't see that much Lion, but may change, may change. Obviously, the Team Liquid in-houses being the most impactful on the professional metagame, so definitely have to keep in mind whatever they add in here really has the most impact. Actually, Yoika going on through, gets stunned up, and then go through the gush. Now, this is slow going across, so they're actually going to get disabled for the time being. Here comes Earth Spike on 2. Dr. Chopper falling back when he could have just taken a kill quick and easy, but in the end, that guy, unstoppable.
Kills another. He's just amazing.
2-second stun onto Adempt, and they're probably going to bring him down too. Please, that guy, you got it. Triple or double kill for him. Wait for the Tide.
Okay.
Now, Tide does have Arcanes and Ravage. Do you think he should have Ravaged there to get Slaughter out of that?
No.
Well, did he have mana even?
His Arcane Boots.
Oh, well, maybe then. But I'm unsure about that. That was kind of a...
Batrider Haste heading up towards Skate. They don't have any detection as far as I can tell, though, but the Flame Break should be sufficient if they can, you know, put it in the right direction.
Yeah, I do think I'm following this Witch Doctor's, thoughts with, the late boots. He's already level 6. Death Ward requires you stand still.
Oh, I see.
Uh-oh, here comes Skate getting, there's actually Sentry on the Radiant, but again, the frame break should be enough. Gives him a little nudge, and now he can no longer bask in a Sandstorm, and he's going to be pursued. He's trying to juke in the trees, but that really doesn't work so well, and the Batrider can see everything in an 1800 AoE. So now the TPs do finally come in. That guy in the action. Tornado goes on through. Will the Earth Spike follow? No, frame break pulls him back, and the EMP will actually go off on Erase Me, but I think he should still get out of here. The Nova goes on through, then the Frostbite, enough disable, should be able to bring Erase Me down despite his durability, but Yoika taking a lot of damage now, that guy all by himself, and does finally get dropped down. The spree ended 540, split among 3 different heroes.
I'm just a bit depressed right now.
But yeah, no, that Witch Doctor cast completely shut them down. It was really, really sad to watch them just not be able to move there. Unless, you are in fact on Dire, in which case I'm sure it was wonderful.
Yeah, that Witch Doctor, very good. He's actually maxing the Paralyzing Cask as well, which is, I think, the correct choice. Just got 1 point on the Maledict.
Yeah, so that's, what is that, a 16 damage increase? 16%, so effectively a 16% increase, assuming they hit the 100 HP mark every single time, but it works out in the end, and it's pretty effective to just burn down somebody who's already taken a lot of damage and add on top of that, so good amplification there, and could synergize decently with Slardar and his amplified damage skill of his own, increasing the physical damage he receives through armor, then putting the Maledict on that. That's going to be a lot of damage incoming on anybody that combination of spells goes on.
Yeah, the Dire team is incredibly good at killing one person. They are just set up for it.
Actually,
and, they've got their bases covered, and Yoika goes down there, bashed by the Slaughter.
The Epicenter is actually coming on now. Will it work out? He doesn't. 2 seconds left on the burst strike. He's not going to be able to get it off. So nice slow, but that guy coming in, double damage, pops off the Finger of Death. Now looking for a Earth Spike to line it up. Does pop down his own Sentry Ward. A couple more double damage auto attacks. He is vampiric for the time being. Insatiable Hunger is still active, and so much flow from the Insatiable. He should be able to bring him down. No cooldowns available, so now Stancil coming in. The Sentry is still up. He's trying to cold snap, burn him down. Actually pops the dust off just to make sure. There goes the Tornado. One more auto attack should do it, and that's going to be the death of the Broodmother.
That guy. Oh, but he doesn't quite get the ward. Stancil saves it with Meatball.
What? Okay. Oh, interesting. Probably could have, just killed the Sentry Ward, but
Meatball.
Meatball.
Stuff going on. Chaos Knight's dying. It's a terrible thing. Okay, no.
Yeah, they just.
That guy died again.
I mean, Chaos Knight was out of position. He got picked off by the lasso, and that was kind of too much. There was really nothing they could do about it. So the supports. Yoika roaming around. He has his Tranquil Boots. Nice luxury action going on there with the wards. Right now, nice D-ward action. Everybody has sentries in this game. This is like the first Team Liquid in-house where I've seen like a million sentry wards, but they're putting up all over the place. They actually are controlling different areas of the map, and with that, they have the potential to gank from those areas now that the Observer wards are no longer on display.
We had some sentries in our last game, in the late game.
I'm not saying you don't have them. I'm just to this extent they've done a lot of good counter warding at this.
The supports are it's much more kill heavy game, I think. I mean, the early game in the last one wasn't quite this exciting.
I suppose.
Yeah.
But Batrider finally picking up his Blink Dagger. The fact of the matter, though, he only has Magic Wand, Stout Shield, and Tranquil Boots. Do you think that's enough durability to initiate like Batrider does?
Not against a level 12 Lion. Yeah, that's true enough. But this Lion already hit 11, which is, very quick, and I don't think the Bat Rider is going to be really prepared for it, because if he goes and it goes into a finger, he's going to have a pretty bad time there.
Mm-hmm. So what finger, the finger target's what, the bat or the guy on it? I don't really know here.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know, the level 11 one, I think it hits
Wow,
both.
big Earthspike coming out.
Right.
Actually, Sharith Sun saving so far the Chaos Knight, but he does get roped in by the lasso. Now a lot of damage coming into him with the Maledict. He will take down. Batrider taking the kill for that. Now Tidehunter does take a fall as well. He didn't actually get the Ravage off once more, holding onto that Ravage. Now popping in buyback, TPing down, I presume, to try to change this around a little bit for the better. But right now it's Tricks put in a really bad spot, and he is just cornered and drops down that guy with the double kill. So carry line for sure.
Bad Rider barely manages to get away.
Solo Ravage, okay.
Here.
And you still lose your Slider and possibly your own life. He did kill that guy though, so probably worth the Ravage for sure.
Oh yeah,
Boss
absolutely.
mode.
What? Oh,
Looks like Stansel's got his Force Staff now, though, as soon as the courier comes to him.
and
If this game's too hard for that guy, I think
we should all
really
quit.
says something.
Yeah, I think we should all quit, play League of Legends or something, because, I mean, if that guy can't handle it, then us mere casters, what can we possibly hope to accomplish in this kind of...
We can just talk about the game instead of actually playing it.
Yeah. It's like chess. I could, like, BS my way through a chess match like crazy, but I haven't played that game in, like, 2 years. I used to be really good at it, but anyways. What was I thinking? Oh, Vanguard picked up on Sand King. He did actually finish the Vitality booster after picking up the Arcane boots, so actually going for a little bit of tankiness, but the problem is he's still very susceptible to disables that Epicenter is going to be hard to initiate with in this current situation, especially if Broodmother went for that Orchid, but currently she's looking at Manta style, bringing out the tower by herself, no problem at all, and rank 3 Insatiable Hunger. That's a level 16 Broodmother. Holy crap, when did that happen? I mean,
that's Hand of Midas. That's the Chinese-style Broodmother. She's
Yeah.
not going to go for Orchid, she's going to go for carry.
Yeah,
She is their primary carry.
Yeah, 2.5 experience with that Midas kill, so herself and Invoker in the action. I mean, she hasn't even, like, the one thing is Invoker's been in a lot of kills and assists. She's not. Broodmother has not been in that much action. A little bit here and there, but in general, the level 16 is astonishing to me that she's already picked that up, and especially up against a Sand King. Sand King with sentries going up against the Broodmother, and still the Broodmother actually came out on top, so very interesting there.
He killed that guy twice.
Now do it.
Just saying.
Do you think Manta's the right pickup here? Even if you're going for carry items, I feel like Radiant has too much AoE to begin with, that those illusions are not going to be able to be that effective.
I think it's mainly to break Crystal Maiden's Frostbite.
Oh, there goes the lasso going
No,
out on
should be
Stancil.
fine.
He has the amplified damage on him, as well as the Maledict. Here's some Death Ward. He's going to take a lot of damage extremely quickly, but he does Force Staff away with the Ghost Walk. Flame Break will do a little bit, but not enough. And he's actually, just going to waltz right on out of that. Will break out the Frostbite, but one thing to keep in mind is that, it's as far as I'm concerned, the illusions are the best for pushing down towers more so than anything else, so he's going to be able to do the split push action and just keep the Midas going, keep the gold rolling, but the Manta style, although it won't do much in a major team
Yeah,
fight...
it's really a defensive item. Like, most people don't really buy Manta Style for the damage, it's for purging off the effects like Dust and Crystal Main's Frostbite.
Right.
If you wanted to go for more damage, you go for like MKB or even Orchid, I suppose. But I don't think he's going to go Orchid because he is carry Broodmother. He is not split push Broodmother. As much.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
the silences...
split push.
The silences wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world either way. I mean,
That
you can stop
is
the freezing field. Oh, here comes a nice tornado EMP going on through. Skater wants to get a good epi. Will he manage to do so? Just a Burrow Strike. 2 on 2 will work out pretty well. Tidehunter getting dropped down by the Lion, and then Invoker finishing off as the Epicenter does land on the Tidehunter. Really nice combination there. I'm kind of not sure why the Tide didn't just run for his life. Now that Tide got dropped down real quickly. I think Slardar could have sprinted on out of there, but it was already on cooldown. Rank 1 sprint, increasing his damage received by 15%, but only increasing his bonus speed by 20. So he had all that active actually during the fight, and that's why he dropped down so rapidly there. And that's really bad positioning and bad skill usage there. And actually, here we got going on through. Chaos Knight trying to keep this tower alive, but the fortification is no longer available. Here comes the Dust. Here comes the Chaos Bolt.
The
Long
Manta
range.
Style, yes, that's why you get Manta Style.
And they said it was practically undodgeable. So they changed that around, and now it was a good projectile where they could just, pop the Manta Style and remove the dust and prevent the potentially 4-second stun all in one action there. So really nice. And did the tower get denied? Yeah, CK got Dr. Chopper on the ball on that one at least. He's going to be looking for an armlet. Do you think that will change the pace of the game at all if he gets that much health and damage, or does he need something else beyond that? Do we need an Aghanim Scepter on that guy, who now has a blink?
Well, I mean, that would, of course, help a bit more than an armlet on a CK. I mean, let's just be honest here. But I think that CK could use another item beyond the armlet, because they've got this late game, I think. You know, he needs an armlet and then, like, a heart or something. Something along those lines. But he needs the armlet and then one big item. You know, heart or, like, a BKB plus parts of another item.
Right. Both the melee carries in this game have gotten shut down pretty heavily. They just don't have a gold, and there's a big fight made.
Yep.
Yeah.
It definitely goes on through, and the freezing field gets canceled almost immediately, so although they are all put up with the deafening, it's not going to change much, and they're going to be able to fall back from that. Stancil trying to do what he can, but here comes a Ravage. Big Ravage, actually. Dr. Chopper taking a lot. He's going to have to fall back immediately, leave Invoker to his death. Can he even get out of here? He's fast, but is he that fast? Slaughter trying to pursue, and now with the amplified damage, I think they can stay on top of him. They just need some kind of initiation. Does Erase Me have Nano for Blink Dagger? He indeed does, and now they're just going to bring him down. He just tries to fall back. Stancil bob back. Here comes Finger of Death. That guy gets the kill onto the Witch Doctor, but now the Epicenter comes on through. How did he get in the action? Does he have a Blink Dagger? He has the Blink Dagger, so SK has his Blink and Vanguard at 24 minutes. It's actually pretty well farmed, all things considered. I mean, I know the Broodmother did well herself, but even without the tower kills, he was able to manage to get a decent GPM, looking at himself 328, which is solid for Solo Sand King. And
he's second on last hits behind Broodmother. A lot of those are spiders, but it's still worth a fair bit of gold.
So yeah, he did, that does add up, and rank 2 Epicenter really helped him out in that fight encounter.
I think their bounty was actually increased in the last patch too.
Yeah, that's very true, very true. So even more advantageous to do that counter lane, get the SK up against the Brood, and that's definitely why they committed to swapping, not only to help him out, but now the BKB has been popped up. I'm going to mention a question that was put up in chat by Aints. They actually asked, why didn't he just go BKB? And obviously he was saying that before the Manta style was picked up, so that would be, why did it not go BKB as a first item? And I mentioned this a little bit last game, but the problem is BKB, scaling later into the game, actually gets worse the more times you use it. It goes 10, 9, 7, 8, and that's... Can I count? Did I just go 10? Wow, okay.
Don't worry.
That's amazing. But anyways, apparently BKB on its 4th charge actually goes up a second, but that's not the point. Besides that point, over time, the more times you use it, carries are heroes that are designing to be weak in the early game, get better. Did he dodge that stun? No, he didn't put it out at all. But anyways, doing a lot of damage on Iorka. You should be able to burn him down with just the illusions. Know the tornado will save him, and the 4-second stun was quite a long duration. So although he's safe from the invisibility,
blast those illusions.
Yeah. Well, Yoko actually probably could have dropped down from that. They do get the incapacitating bite, as far as I understood. Does that passive propagate to the illusions? I'm not 100% certain, but I thought they would. One way or another, though.
Well, it doesn't give bonus damage anymore, does it?
No, it's not the damage, just the slow. But anyways, BKB, as far as a first item, if you don't have the damage to back it up, first of all, you're not going to be doing that much in that 10-second time period where you're disabled. Also, if you're getting it at the 15-minute mark, you're going to be compelled to use it in the first or second fight. If you're getting the recipe, doesn't improve the component stats at all. The strength, the damage, exactly the same, whether or not you have it active or anything like that. It's always going to be that much strength, that much damage. So really the reason to get the recipe for it is to get the active, but if you're using the active as early as 15 minutes into the game, then that's going to be dropping down the timer over and over and over to, you're going to get very quickly into like 35-minute team fights where you only have a 5-second BKB, and then as soon as that expires, you really don't have that much to contribute to a team fight with enough disables, and they certainly do have disables on the Radiant team. So I definitely agree with at least picking up a damage item like Manta Style, which gives some utility and survivability as well, and then going for the BKB after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, even just getting a Yasha before the BKB is worth it, because Broodmother gets a huge damage steroid from her ult. So if you just have some attack speed in the form of a Yasha or the full Manta style, then the BKB becomes a lot more worth it because you actually do damage.
Alright, so right now we do have a Roshan attempt going on through. We do have the 14 armor reduction. That gives them -2, or wow, I am the worst at math right now. I don't know. Yeah. Counting and basic subtraction are pretty much beyond me. But anyways, casting too long. -8 armor, burn him down extremely quickly, and it shouldn't be any problem at all to get that Aegis Immortal up. Who's going to pick it up? I guess Aldemned would be a prime target there, and he does, in the end, acquire it. So Slardar has that Blink Dagger, has the Aegis Immortal, the Vanguard, and the Treads, and now he can go for some high DPS
BKB
armor.
up in the stash as well.
Big item there, for sure.
And Broodmother.
Yep.
What do you think about the fact that nobody's picking up a pipe on the Dire right now, up against the Epicenter, up against the Finger of Death? Even the Freezing Field could be counted in the equation, and she's going to be hitting level 11 rather shortly. Rain, do you think that that's a mistake, not going for the pipe with all that AoE damage?
Yeah, I definitely think that They don't need the blink on Tide, to be perfectly honest. He's doing his job perfectly well. He's just walking in with his team anyway.
They're
So
getting
it's-
initiated upon, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't see why he prioritized that.
Speaking of which, that guy coming in with the blink dagger goes on with a nice double stun. Probably gonna go,
my
epicenter
God.
big, epicenter burrow strike going on through, destroying everybody in his path. Broodmother gets deafened up, and that guy finishes his job with that finger of death. And now Adept actually running for his life after the Aegis Immortal gets pulled in back by the Reality Rift, and now he's gonna drop down as well with nice frostbite. Really, really fortunate for that Reality Rift. It could have just pulled him, the CK right on top of him. Instead, brought him right back into the pack, and they're gonna take easily tier 1 and probably tier 2 from this. So that was actually 5 kills if you count the Aegis the Immortal for absolutely nothing. Beautiful initiation from Skrillex there.
Yeah, I really think one of the awkward things about getting the pipe for this team is if Tide is going for it, it's going to be incredibly late because he's
Right.
not really in a farming capacity. And then there are 3 people that are farming. The only one that makes a bit of sense on that Batrider could get it at his kind of tanking up item. That could work. But I don't think it makes much sense on Slaughter or Broodmother. Like in the game that I was playing in, on our time we had Darkseer, and Darkseer
Right.
farms up and gets more effective just by tanking up. So it was very very easy to get a pipe and a mech and all these support items that give you extra survivability. And we got them
I think-
quickly.
Right. But I think here there's an interesting thing here. The Lion's going back for a mech now. It's a matter of someone has to pick up a mech. But do you feel? I think ever since people started seeing the core items right in Dota 2, they started thinking, okay, this is what I'll get. Do you think mech is actually that great online? Because I always feel the kind of positions you're putting yourself into, right? You're very aggressively ganking, and that's not where I'd want my team fight items to be sitting on, if that makes sense.
Do you think that Lion initiating with a blink dagger, if he overextends himself a little bit, he'll be taken down before the mech can really be
Yeah.
of any use other than a 250 heal for just himself?
That's
I-
just
I think it might be an either-or aspect, that you're either going for the initiation aspect or the supportive utility aspect. You can either pick up the mech or the blink dagger. If you're jumping in, I can't see the advantage entirely. The TPs are going on through Skate, not so lucky, but the Lion at least will get out of that position there. The Sand King is going to take a fall with the lasso on him. I mean, he could stun out of this, but not going to change anything there, and Erase Me getting a killing spree actually out of it. So he's been doing a lot better than he was in the early stages of the game. Sitting at a KDA now that we have a moment. 7, 4, and 9, so the top for his team at the very least. And now Broodmother going up onto Invoker. Kind of wanted to do a 1v1, but turned it into a 1v3. EMP, here comes the Earth Spike. 2-second stun. Chaos Knight, everybody's here. And now he pops the BKB, and look at that movement speed from the webs, from the Manta style. They actually force staff, though. Really nice force staff, though. Will they be able to stick on him, though? He pops right on through the web, still has that invisibility, still has that movement speed, and he is out of here. Wow, that BKB. I mean, it just shows the Manta style is not enough. That BKB really adds a lot, and when you save it for the time that you really, really need it, that's how the BKB really comes into play.
But that was his 10-second charge. He's not going to have that for the fight. So, like what you were
Yeah.
saying earlier, every time if you have a BKB, you'll end up using a BKB. But he didn't help his team at all there. He just prevented himself from dying, and it's not wrong. If you buy the BKB, you should use it, but it's definitely going to hurt him later on, because if you have a 10-second BKB during a team fight, it's absolutely insane.
Absolutely, absolutely. But, I mean, yeah, it's definitely worth your life at the very least, especially a level 20 Broodmother, getting able to not have to worry about buyback and that very, very extensive death timer. But unfortunately on the bottom, they pushed on the tier 2, and though they have been on the ball as far as
Invoker
pressure...
got a nice deny on it.
Yeah, Invoker really just lined that up, and so they've been on the ball for towers in general, but, Flame Break stopping the Dr. Chopper, now he gets lassoed up, and although he has an armlet, I doubt he's going to be able to get out. There's no way too much damage coming out, and he's going to drop down with Broodmother, finishing the job there, and Erase Me, surviving to Tranquil Boot up, earn, and continue his pursuit onto the
All
tier
the
3 tower.
4-second stuns in the world aren't going to save him from that.
Well, I think all of them. I mean, if you think Beastmaster Roar, and...
Well, all the ones that he can do.
Okay.
And that poor mana on Broodmother. Just all gone.
Alchemist. I was trying to think. What are other 4-second stuns, but that'll work.
I think Bane has like a 7-second stun.
It's not really a stun, per se. It's more of an immobilized silence disarm
I see.
that you can't use items. But, yeah, Crystal Maiden picks up the dust, has sentries as well, a couple bracers, playing full supportive role right here, definitely the number 5 in this circumstance. So really, is there anything that she could be like hoping for, like a BKB to get the freezing field off, or she really just has to relegate herself to the bottom position, just focus on warding and try to keep everybody alive against this Broodmother who is farming so extensively? I mean, the GPM 507 and getting more and more dangerous as she goes along. She's not the best at scaling, but she does a lot, especially with that pretty much free satanic through her insatiable hunger. Oh, big just Skater. I don't know about that initiation there. That's starting things off really poorly. The Meteor does go on through, but Skater taking a lot of damage. One more auto attack will do it. Now the Sand King's out of the fight. 4 Second Sun is up in the action, but now Smoke, he popped his Ravage already. Now the Chaos Knight actually gets leashed up by the last of the Illusion Pursues, but it cannot do it. The Napalm doing too much. Reality Rift. Oh, he does bring down the Tidehunter before taking a fall himself. Double kill for both Dr. Chopper and Watch How I Spilled One. But that team fight, Sand King jumps in, misses his Burrow Strike completely, and then drops down immediately. I gotta say, that's not how you play an Initiator here.
He had that tremendous fail, but then he dodged the Witch Doctor cask, so he made up for it a little bit.
Well, let's see how that little bit works out for their tier 3 tower here.
It was not a bit enough.
You know, you were talking about Crystal Maiden items, and there's a fight.
Ooh, finger death.
Yep, standard.
Let's see, this Brood is a little bit, okay. Well, I think she got the hint. But, when it comes to Crystal Maiden items, I think you should actually people should be picking up, Sanges. Right?
So, yeah.
As many as possible, right?
Yeah.
Now, you want to go for it?
You get Heaven's Halberd, and then you get a knife, Scotty. You know.
Oh, yeah, dude. But, no, because you'll see Vanguards a lot, right, on Crystal Maiden. And I'd just like to say, Sage gives you more HP, right? It gives you, that Maim isn't completely irrelevant, and if you can get up to that Halberd, you actually have, you know, even more utility in team fights.
Yeah, I completely thought you were trolling me on the stream at first, but okay. So I hear what you're saying. It's logical. The large amount of strength gain.
You need to keep your trolling and your professional, you know, items separate.
Yeah, you got to balance it out. So, anyways, but yeah, stacking the Sanjas, it does add up a lot of HP. You can build out the Heaven's Halberd, really good item in general, and dodging, evading the bashes from Slaughter could be really, really clutch. Do you think Ghost Scepter would just be a cheaper alternative that could kind of do the same against all these auto attacks?
Ghost Scepter's probably the right choice.
I mean, of course, there is a lot of magic damage coming out, Batrider and Tide, but they're not going to be committing that much to her. But usually Batrider's focused so much on Chaos Knight that the rest of it won't matter too much.
Yeah, pretty much. I think going for a BKB on Crystal Maiden this game would also not be the best idea, because usually you use it to be able to channel your ult fully, but Slaughter can just bash you through the... I mean, I'm pretty sure that bash goes through magic immunity, right? His is one. It's like Faceless Voids, right?
Yeah, it's physical.
I'm pretty sure the only
thing that would do that is Spirit Breakers, and I think they fixed it.
And they changed that.
Yeah, that was kind of a bug in my mind, but they left it for a while. Anywho, kind of coming back a little bit to it, they actually have the advantage of 32 to 27. Like we said, the CK can scale decently. He has the Armlet now. He has Phantasms and Crit, but really his farm is one of the lowest on his team. And by that I mean, you know, number 3 out of 5, but it's not as much as it should be given his role. I mean, he needs to be carrying, and right now Lion's doing just as good of a job as he is. That's kind of a problem, in my mind at the very least. The gold isn't in the right hands now. The Invoker I have not talked about Invoker items all game. He's actually farmed up quite a bit with the Aghanim Scepter, Eye, Force Staff, and Drum, as well as the Phase Boots, but
also, we should probably mention that the base is being pushed right now.
I got my camera on it. People can see the towers dropping.
I'm not sure. I'm not watching the stream. I don't know what you're looking at.
I'm trying to find the frog sitting on the cliff. Anyways, the 4-second stun comes out on Tidehunter. They're not focusing them down, so the Kraken Shell will not pop that. The Ravage has already gone through, though, so most of the damage already gone. That Death Ward doing so much damage. Will How I Spill won't be able to finish him off? It does indeed happen, but now he's taking a lot of damage from the Finger of Death. Deafening Blast goes on back on through, but he is healing up. He is escaping. In the meantime, Pursuit goes on through Erase Me, following up Napalm Stacks. Is that 1 or 7? Just the 1, so he won't be able to do too much more on the back end, though. Sand King trying to get away. Skate pops the Blink, needs to, and he does manage to do so, but fortunately there is no amplified damage. Now there will be, and he will not be able to juke as effectively as he needs to. So Stancil actually very nicely 4-staffs away from the impending
thought about
crush.
TPing and then thought better of it.
Yeah, it would have been a death if he tried to finish off that channel. It was very close, but it still would have been a death. And now a nice Ice Wall and Tornado action, making the use of his remainder of his mana and getting out of dodge before that's an issue. However, everybody's picking it up. Roshan has respawned, and that is going to be an easy pickings for the Dire now that they have push them out of their base. So they lost a tier 3, but they're going to take Roche. Do you think that's a good trade, considering they did win the team
Well, they
fight
also
as
took
well?
a tier 3. They took tier 3 top.
Yeah,
the Broodmother just had her Manta Illusions on it and then just TP'd back in and got a couple kills. So,
Yeah, so even trading on the tier 3, they won the team fight, now they got the Roche. I would definitely say this win for a Dire.
yeah.
Right, absolutely. And Slaughter makes for an incredibly quick rush.
I want to see like the new best Roche strat have like TA, Slardar, and Tidehunter in there, and just like stack as much negative armor as possible. Maybe a Desolator later on.
DS.
Oh, Medallion, of course, and go from there.
Shadow Fiend.
Desolator. Yeah.
If you have a Shadow Fiend, a Slardar, and a Templar Assassin on your team, I think you have a problem more so than Roshan. But alas, Batrider picking up, I guess, is Shiva's. No, Sheep's. I mean, Hex is very, very good on any hero, but particularly him. Make sure they never has to worry about mana whatsoever, and along with that, more disables to follow up with his Flaming Lasso, or just to coincide with him. In the meantime, how I Spill One continuing to push up, has travels, has going for crit, Manta style BKB. Does he need the butterfly to finish off this set, or I mean, he has 2 item slots available with Soul Ring and Midas becoming more and more irrelevant as the time goes on. So, what do you guys think he should fill it out with?
It's a butterfly would be good, of course. I think he could also maybe go for an MKB. It just does a lot of damage to buildings. And you know, when I play Broodmother, I have to be honest. I just play versus the buildings. The other heroes are just kind of there. Occasionally you kill them. Occasionally you get killed by them. But your job is just to kill the buildings.
So you're playing the NPC in a tower defense game, is what you're talking about.
Oh, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. So MKB. MKB actually stacks with itself too.
Sentry Ward Skater is in a really bad spot right now. I mean, he could try to get actually Deafening Blast, save him for the time being. That Wex creating a large amount of disarm time. Now the Ravage goes on through. Only hits on Chaos Knight though. The Death Ward goes on through and is doing a lot of damage to him. Now Epicenter charging up. He doesn't have the blink, but the Burrow should be sufficient. Odemmed and How I Spill One taking a lot of damage from that, but now they're still alive for the time being. Now, actually, the Finger of Death not even finishing off anybody. Plinks in to finish the job. That guy going big or go home, and now he's in a really interesting spot. The Frog is up. He just needs a little bit more auto attack damage, but can he do it? Instead, Stancil will fall into play. EMP will go down, I presume. He has it invoked, but he has this Aghanim Scepter. He's not really invoking like crazy. He needs to be. He has so many spells that he could be popping off. Here comes the Aegis the Immortal from the Slardar now coming in. Mega kill for the How I Spill One, finish off the Crystal Maiden. Now it's only Sand King dropping down, and now Invoker's the only one remaining. He's going to run for his life back into the base, and do you think he can repel them? I mean, he has a lot of anti-push mechanisms, but they have 4 freaking people knocking on the door of his melee and range racks up top.
Does he have his meatball left? Because that's one of his.
I didn't see it.
I don't think that'll be enough even.
It'll help, but
they're at least losing one of their racks here.
Yeah, there's. Yeah, the racks have fallen, and soon to be the range. That'll definitely give them a lot of momentum in the lanes. Not only continuously pushing towards them, but also limiting the gold that can be farmed up from it on the Radiant. And seeing as, like I've said, the GPM on Chaos Knight now dropping down to 290, 4th to last. There's really all the gold needs is in Invoker's hands. He's almost capped out on relevant items, so that's going to be very difficult to work with. Now, 4 seconds done does come out, and Schmo, he will crack his shell out of it. Gets the Anchor Smash. Will he be able to blink? Oh, he's perfectly fine anyways. No, he's not. He completely failed. He could have blinked out of that base, destroying all the tower auto attacks instead. He just eats them in the face, and Tide, you're not that beefy. Sunstrike goes on through, and that's going to be a buyback from the Witch Doctor.
Broodmother kills.
He's really focused on your strat of anti-buildings play. He's like, I have to win the TD, I have to walk in this same direction and auto-attack this one same thing. That's really his goal in life.
He can just travel there and take down that Rax. If the top lane pushes at all, then he can just go take that Rax.
Now, they did just commit a lot of buybacks to it. He's picking... he's selling his recipe. He was trying to go for the Daedalus recipe and instead picked up the crit Crystallis, so that was a little bit silly. But as far as buybacks go, nobody has them, but if you look, the Invoker, the Broodmother, the Witch Doctor, and the Tidehunter, as well as the Crystal Maiden, have popped them relatively recently. Crystal Maiden is going to be up very shortly, but in this recent time period, that's a lot of gold that would have been on the table and now is no longer. Do you think that would have been a major item for anybody in particular? I mean, Broodmother will be improving her damage quite a bit with this Daedalus recently picked up, but is that what she needs to finish the job to not only take down... I mean, you can't crit buildings, so building out to at least a little bit of team fight type items.
I never get crit on Broodmother, so... I mean, if you want to kill the guy's towers that are defending his base, then the crit's all right, but
here in Epicenter, where did he channeled it or something? One way or another, he didn't get the blink off as he was intending to. He finally put it on cooldown, but either misjudged his location or I don't know. But one way or another, Skater not too happy about that epicenter. Didn't do the damage he needed to. Now Bat jumps in, Blink pulls Skate in. Not the best, most irrelevant kill. I think Stancil would have been the biggest deal, but one way or another, they are putting a lot of damage. He's actually getting out. He actually sandstormed away and walked away. Now everybody's on really low life. The Ravage has gone through. I'm lagging like crazy from all these graphical effects. Webs on fire on tentacles, and here we go. This crush goes on through. 3-second stun on the Tidehunter will be completely irrelevant, as in the end, when the dust settles, as I lag out of this game, we have the Invoker, the Crystal Maiden, and the Chaos Knight dead. The Sand King barely got out of it with Sandstorm and just waltzing on out. He picked up an Aghanims instead of the Veiled Discord, so generally speaking, I would say that was a mistake, but it just technically saved his life with the HP pool it added on to his values there, so one way or another.
That is the argument for Aghanims, and there's the GG.
Good game is called out. They know they can't. Obviously, with all the buybacks expended, they could just push down at least on the bottom racks and probably on a couple mid towers. So that is going to be the good game called out. Radiant disconnecting out. It was a well-played game. I mean, 44 minutes, very, very action-packed, 37-38. But in the end, looking at the gold grab, they're jumping down over 10,000 advantage on one and experience about the same. So what do you guys think about that? We'll start off with Astarwulf. What do you think about the game overall?
Well, I'd really like to focus on Broodmother. She did an excellent job of, kind of striking the balance between killing towers and killing people. It's a delicate balance, but you've got to find it on Broodmother. You can't completely, just let your team die, and, because the enemy team will generally win the game. Occasionally not, but in this Team Liquid in-house, I think they'll manage to exploit the fact that Broodmother's never with the team. Right. But she was just enough that that they were able to win that hard. They were able to turn all the kills that she got into an advantage.
Rainmaker, they have 3 blinkers, blink daggers on the Dire instead of the 2 on the Radiant. Do you think that initiation advantage won them the game, or just the general play and team fight initiation overall?
Well, I think actually what I'd say is the most relevant thing is that the Chaos Knight didn't kind of get rolling. He never got those big items. He had an armlet up, but like Astarwulf was saying at the beginning, if he had just farmed a little bit more, right, and gotten a bit fatter, they could have, contested this Broodmother. But as it was at the end of the game, Broodmother had all these items, and there was no one that could kind of compete with that on Radiant side.
For sure,
and I think
for sure.
That's me.
Do you think they could have ended the game like 15 minutes sooner if they had the pipe on their team?
Yeah, probably.
Well, maybe. I think the Blink Daggers were almost a mistake, because they kept getting initiated on. They needed that pipe. They needed the mech sooner would have helped. That guy...
Dire didn't even have a mech.
One
wow.
mistake. It was that Blink Dagger, I think.
That guy.
Well, he ended up getting a lot of kills, because he had that blink at 15 minutes or something stupid.
It was rapid.
It was crazy, yeah. He was just killing everyone early.
So...
Hex
poor
first line.
that guy.
Carrying and
shout
just
out to that guy.
Team too heavy. Chaos Knight, Dr. Chopper and Chaos Knight too heavy. You heard it here. But there you go.
They had all that armor. Oh my goodness, it just can't carry that shit.
Well, good game, guys. Thank you for casting with me. This was kind of fun, a little experimental, but kind of just goofing around, and it was very, very fun to try cast with you guys and try that out. I'm gonna have one more guy on stream with me, and then I'm gonna make that the last cast for today. But it was very enjoyable just doing a little bit of goof around stuff and trying that out. So thanks for coming on. You guys introduce your voices or whatever.
Oh, I'm Astarwulf. You can't follow me anywhere. Maybe I'll be on Blaze's stream again. We'll see.
Nice.
And, I'm Rainmaker. I'm still Rainmaker. You can follow me on Team Liquid. You can buddy me. That's an option. Rainmaker 5.
Okay. I didn't realize they have a buddy system. You can buddy me too. I'm Astarwulf there.
Okay, there we go.
As I intrude on yours.
Excellent.
Now we're, dude. We can be Team Liquid official. Dude. Don't you
I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna end the call. Good game, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Cheers.